is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy D Dyson. The Killer on Netflix, starring MichaelFassbender and directed by my top 5 all-time greatest directors in cinema, DavidFincher. He also created Gone Girl, Fight Club, was it 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and one of my all-time favorite TV shows that was canceled by Netflix, Mindhunter. And I really will always advocate that they need to bring that back. But in this, The Killer, MichaelFassbender is a assassin, a trained killer, where he is on a job in the beginning. And I love how this movie is, because it's a movie where it's action, but not a lot. And the dialogue is based off of kind of like a memoir. And I forgot what they call that in theater, where you're watching the actions, but he's just narrating. So it's just a narration of what he's doing. And I love the fact that it starts where he's just, doing his thing, waiting for his mark. He's sitting up in an abandoned building, and he just has these same routine, these same habits that he always does. And even when he is getting ready to either kill someone up close, he always, in his narration, reiterates the same thing. Like, don't make it personal, and to always anticipate and don't really just go with the flow. So you always anticipate what this person is going to do and don't have any sympathy for him. This is a job, and you only fight what you're paid to do. So in this, it reminded me a lot of, it took from John Wick, because in this job, he messed up, something that rarely, if ever, happens, where he shot at this big time figure and he hit the security instead of actually the target. So he had to be in a position to do an escape. And in that escape, he's kind of like calling, like, hey, this is something, what happened, something that never happened. And they're all kind of like freaking out, like, oh crap. So he's in a position where he's kind of like, what now? But then he gets word from the Dominican Republic, from basically his brother-in-law, that his girlfriend has been sodomized and beat really bad, like almost to a pulp. And that was just like an insurance policy on him, because they thought that he was going to get caught and he was going to just rat. So when he goes down there to see his girlfriend, and just in a hospital bed, kind of pleading for her life, he's kind of like, and the thing about him, nothing riles him up. He's not emotional. He is just straightforward, stick to the plan, non-emotion. I'ma handle it. And even when her brother is just like, oh my gosh, they did this and they did that, he's like, I'ma handle it. So he goes to his employer. And I love about this is that that's where he goes, like that John Wick-esque, is like, I'm about to go hunt down the people that employed me to do this, and I'm going to get revenge. Because it's like, what the hell are you doing messing with the people I mess with? Like, there's no reason. So goes after him. He goes down to Louisiana, to New Orleans, my home state. I was going to be like, I love when things are shot in Louisiana, because I'm like, that is depicted as, that's really what it looks like. And he's in New Orleans. He finally gets a hold of them, and he's at the office. They're kind of like, oh crap, because I think they've never seen him like in person. And he's always saying in the beginning that if you see me in person, you better be lucky if I let you live. And I was kind of like, whoa. So, they see him in person. They're all kind of like freaked out, like, man, like, hey, look. And goes in for the kill for the boss. Then the secretary, I'm thinking he's going to let go, but she was like, hey, look, I know it's a long time, but I have the people that are responsible. So she goes to the house, he goes to her house, collects what he needs to, and she was like, please, I got kids, make it look like an accident. And I'm thinking that he's about to shoot her, and the way he did it, I was like, okay, he stuck to his word and made it look like an accident. And I was just like, God dang, this dude has no remorse, but at the same time, I wouldn't either in his line of work. And then something about this movie that kind of threw me off is when he heads down to Florida and he goes against that Samoan Polynesian guy. I told myself this is where it's a movie, because for some of the blows that they're trading off, he definitely would have died. he would have been hung up and gone right then and there. And that was like my whole gripe with the movie, is that he's going against this Samoan guy and he's hitting him with heavy blows that you're thinking that he's about to get knocked out, but it's like, oh nah, he's still fighting. I'm like, that's not realistic. He would have been gone. I don't care how much that dude's probably like 6'1", 6'2", 245, and you're 6 foot, 6'1", probably 185. You know, I'm like, you would have been knocked out from the blows. But he, does his thing with him and then goes off into Tilda Swinton's character. And even with that, I had another gripe, is that he's following her from her house, that she would have never looked back and said, hey, you follow me this whole... I thought she had a master plan, like, you follow me, this is, here it is, here, I had a whole plan for you because I knew you were coming. That type of deal. But it wasn't. So that's why I was kind of like, okay, yeah, that's a little bit false, in this. But nevertheless, it never took me out the movie. And seeing how she was more of a boss about it. I was thinking because he came from the back that he would have had another way of killing her, the way that he would have did it. But I was just like, at the same time, I was like, this is pretty cool. The way that he, has sympathy, but he was still telling himself, stick to the rules, stick to his code, and he didn't have sympathy. And I was like, okay. Then he gets up to the last person, and it's kind of like a head honcho, like a money figure, and he lets him live. And it's like, man, we have no beef. I have no beef with you. And he was kind of like, whatever. But he made enough money to where he didn't have to really live that life no more. And then, you see him kind of at the end, a happy ending with his girlfriend on the beach in Dominican Republic, like he's basically retired. So I was like, it was a good movie from start to finish. It really reminded me of the Batman of when Robert Pattinson was in the beginning, kind of like narrating his every move. It's like he's looking like, hey, this is Paris, this is how it looks. And he narrated his whole thing. And I love that, the fact that he's narrating his movements, because it's not a lot of action and it's not a lot of like dialogue from the major character, the main character. He's just very nice and neat. He's very quiet, but that narration gives him that effect. And that's why I was like, this is a really movie. I really give it a 9.5 out of 10. Only the two gripes that I had. Other than that, this movie was flawless. Something entertaining, something different. And again, it's from David Fincher, and you can never go wrong with David Fincher. So, you guys enjoyed my review of The Killer on Netflix. Subscribe to my channel, post a comment down below, and like the video. It's your boy, D Dyson. Peace.